Okay, I want to do one more video. That's those level 2 derivatives, power rule of the level 2 derivatives. So I'm going to do one that we did in class again. And I'm just going to really take my time and explain each step so that you know what's going on. Okay, so the one I'm doing is the second one from the class today. F of x equals 6 over 5x to the fifth, and we want to take the derivative. Okay, we're looking for f prime x, which is the derivative. Okay, now to do this, we only know the power rule right now, and so we need to be able to apply the power rule. In order to do this, we have to convert this to an exponent, and we have to move it to the top. So that's what I'm doing. So step one, I'm going to convert this to a positive exponent. That is through the exponent rules that we did in the warm-up. That is 5 times x to the power of 5 over 2. The 5 comes from this right here. That goes to the numerator. Remember, there's a little imaginary 2 right here that goes to the denominator here. Okay. However, I still cannot apply the power rule because x is in the denominator. So I'm going to move it up to the numerator. So this, again, I can rewrite that as long as I can move it top and bottom as long as I change the exponent. So it's going to become x to the negative 5 halves over 5. Okay. So I'm going to rewrite that again down below here. 6 times x to the negative 5 halves over 5. When you're dealing with fractions, it can be kind of messy. Like this, even though you can do this 100%, the way that it's written makes it look more challenging than it is in reality. So I'm going to rewrite this by taking that 6/5 out of it. So like that 6 over 5 is coming out, and then write the x to the negative 5 halves separately. Okay. So this is the same expression, just written differently. Now, I'm not deriving the 6/5. Like, you're not deriving that. You're only applying power rule to this right here. So let's apply the power rule. We're going to take that. We're going to leave the 6/5 out in front. We're going to take that negative 5 halves, put that out in front. And then I'm going to subtract 1 from 5 halves. So from negative 5 halves. So negative 5 halves minus 1. Like, what is that? Well, negative 5 halves minus 1 is actually the same thing as negative 5 over 2 minus 2 over 2, which is negative 7 over 2. Okay, so this is x to the power of negative 7 over 2. Okay, now let's combine terms. So 6 times negative 5 is negative 30. 5 times 2 is 10 times x to the power of negative 7 over 2. Okay, negative 30 divided by 10 is negative 3 times x to the power of negative 7 over 2. Okay, now in delta, so this is acceptable, this answer right here. So again, if you didn't follow any of that, just follow my steps backwards. This would be acceptable to me, but on delta, it wants more than this. It wants no exponents and no negative exponents and in radical form. So we're going to convert this back. So we're going to leave that negative 3 stays up on top over x to positive 7 halves, where I can move it top and bottom as long as you change the sign. Like what I just did there, if that wasn't clear, is the same as negative 3 times 1 over x to the 7 halves. Like, that's what I just did. I just moved that down to the denominator. So I got negative 3 over x. And then this, I can convert to a radical, leave the negative 3 on top, over the square root of x to the 7th. So that 7 is the power, and I'm taking the second root. There's a little 2 here. You don't write the 2, but it's like an imaginary 2. So your final answer is negative 3 over square root of x to the 7th. Okay? And that's the process. So use this to help you. Watch it again. If you're confused, come to my office hours.